The Miami race showed another problem between Red Bull teammates, and this time, it looks like things are going bad for Sergio Perez. The Mexican driver isn't happy about how his team handled his time, which cost him a real chance to win. And the fact that his teammate Max beat him, even though Max started way back in 9th place, made Perez feel even worse. This adds to the story of Perez trying to fight Max for the championship, but with Perez messing up in the competition, big changes are coming for Red Bull very soon. So will Perez survive this mess and all this trouble? The recent race in Miami showed that getting a good time early in practice matters a lot. Perez was able to get the best starting position and have a strong spot for the main race. Max wasn't as lucky, but with the Dutch driver winning the race from 9th place, it just shows that you don't need much when you have great skill and an amazing car. But one thing stands out: Max set the fastest lap times on 40-lap old hard tires, while Perez couldn't catch up on brand new medium tires. This made the Mexican driver really angry. According to reports, Perez has asked his team to look deeper into the problem of his tires going completely crazy and not being able to compete with Max. Meanwhile, his teammate did nothing but crush everyone else on the track. At one point, Max passed both Magnussen and Leclerc at the same time to get to 6th place. By the time we got to lap 15, Max was in 2nd place and had caught up to his teammate. This happened at a time when Perez was able to beat Max twice when the Dutch driver tried to pass him in Jeddah and Baku. Both of those races fit the Mexican's driving style much better. But since he's much better on street tracks, we were left wondering how he didn't do better during the Miami race, a track that's called a circuit. All of this competition is something that doesn't suit Max and his car. It seems like Perez isn't accepting the fact that he is the number 2 driver and Red Bull brought him for that reason only. Sky F1 TV experts believe it's only a matter of time before the Mexican gets replaced because of his recent actions of being too competitive. This whole situation starts to look a bit like Bottas's first years with Mercedes, where he had to accept that he doesn't have what it takes to fight Hamilton for at least one title or one season. There was also an interesting moment between Perez and his team's radio talk. According to Davidson, there wasn't much communication, and Perez wasn't told about the fight with Max when the Dutch driver was coming up behind him really fast. When talking about this, Davidson said it's been really strange listening to Perez's radio. They haven't told him anything about this fight between himself and Max, but on Max's side of the garage, it's been constant. We've heard it coming through that constant checking on how the race gap is between him and his teammate. Perez has been out there driving blind in a way. It's been very odd, a bit too quiet on his radio. What this shows is that Red Bull knew that Max would absolutely crush the competition ahead of him. And the fact that Horner congratulated Perez in a very weird way for his pole position, saying, "Congrats Checo on getting a pole position under the red flag," shows that there are two sides to the story when a Red Bull driver gets a win or a pole position. To make this even worse, during Perez's win in Baku, the team immediately jumped on the radio and said to Max that he had bad luck with the safety car instead of congratulating Perez for his 2nd win of the season. It's no secret that there will always be favorites at Red Bull, and whoever tries to challenge Max will end up being thrown out of the team or shown the place and role that he needs to play. This has been the current situation of the team, but with Max being challenged early for the lead, one couldn't help but wonder, is Perez out of the big picture at Red Bull? Besides Davidson, Ralf Schumacher also believes that there is a huge upset between Max and his team when it comes to the Dutch driver having Perez as his teammate for a longer time. Even though Perez is probably the most competitive teammate Max has had in his career besides Ricciardo, that doesn't suit the 2-time world champion at all. When talking about this, Ralf Schumacher said that before the Miami race, Max's team had asked Red Bull to replace Perez from 2025 onwards. As the German said, "It's difficult, and from my point of view, it's clear that the Max side wants a new teammate. I hear these rumors everywhere. I see it as a problem that Perez knows his time at Red Bull Racing will end. He's fighting for his chance to race up front, to win, to have a say in the title. It's like this: the teammate is always the biggest competitor, and who knows what possibilities there'll be later. You can see from Hamilton how fast it goes. That's why Sergio is now becoming more selfish, and as far as selfishness goes, Max can't complain. Now, where does the problem with Perez's time at Red Bull come from? For starters, there's more talent in Red Bull's training program, where Liam Lawson got the super license needed to drive in Formula 1. Tsunoda has shown that when he's under pressure, he can get results that are considered amazing given the fact that he drives a really terrible car. On top of that, Ricciardo is also waiting on the sidelines for another slip in Perez's direction, showing teeth towards Max, making it a make-or-break season for the Mexican. But is there a real chance that we'll see Perez successfully challenge Max for the title and give us a similar season to the one we saw back in 2016? As of now, the main problem that Perez has is being consistent. No matter what speed he shows on street circuits, it's not enough to win a championship. We've seen Max crushes competition without major problems. In the races he's finished behind Perez, it was obvious that he struggled with other problems with the car, like stability. Still, there is a chance that Perez will accept his fate and understand that while he doesn't have a chance to fight Max for the championship, Red Bull was the team that saved his career, and they're the ones that actually gave him another chance in the sport. Still, he has high hopes that the championship will go his way later in 2023. When talking after the Miami race outcome, the Mexican said, "I really wanted the win. It would have meant a lot to me, but it's about not giving up. It's a long season ahead, but we've got to keep pushing, and hopefully there'll be many more good moments for all of us coming." Obviously today, Max deserved the victory because he was the fastest car out there. Really early on, I saw the medium was very fragile, so I had to protect the tire quite a lot. Now, the fact that Max was able to beat his teammate at his own game, as Perez is known to be the tire whisperer on the grid because of his ability to make tires last their maximum, goes to show that a lot can change in just a couple of races. This happened back in 2022 as well, when Perez started to show teeth to Max, and all of a sudden, he was much slower than the rest of the competitors, with the Mexican feeling more and more pushed away from the Red Bull team. With this in mind, Schumacher feels like there is a huge possibility that Tsunoda or Ricciardo have a high chance to replace Perez further down the road, and the Mexican doesn't have stable chances to keep his seat for the upcoming seasons. While it wouldn't make a lot of sense for Red Bull to replace such a driver as Perez, the fact that they have young and upcoming talent in Liam Lawson and Ayuma Iwasa from F2 shows that they have a lot to think about for their future. Because if they don't hire from the inside, then the entire training program makes no sense at all. As of now, tough times lie ahead of Perez, and he'll be put under huge pressure to deliver top-notch results week in and week out. So with this in mind, do you think that he'll keep his position at Red Bull, or will Max's word be the last one to be listened to in the Austrian team? Let us know in the comments down below.